Hey guys, how are you all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic. Welcome back to the channel. And, well, welcome back to Star Wars Month, I guess. This isn't necessarily a huge Star Wars video, but again, you read the title. Maybe we're going to see Star Wars in it at some point. But today I'm talking about my best movies of 2019, my worst movies, and of course some honorable mentions. So, first off, I want to start with the worst movies. Now, when I say these are the worst films of 2019, I really don't have any movie this year that I saw that I absolutely freaking hate or despise. These just aren't films that are as good as the ones that are in my honorable mentions and in my best list. So when I say that they're the worst films, again, quick disclaimer, they are not terrible movies. They're just not up to my standard of what's on the other lists. So we'll just start off with number one, Playmobil the movie. Again, this is on the channel for my review, so go check it out for a more in-depth review. But like I said, this is a blatant ripoff of the Lego movie, the Lego Batman movie, the Lego Ninjago movie, and the Lego Movie 2, the second part. It's a very good ripoff. But it does have a lot of issues, I mean, it's not, and one of the biggest issues, like I said, is that literal jokes and scene things are literally ripped from all four of these Lego movies, and just, completely, used in a different type of way. So they are copying it, but at the same time, it's not terrible, but, I do have some other reasons too, so if you really want to see my reasons why I don't like Playmobil, and why I even do like it, because again, I love Playmobil the movie, I love it, but compared to my other movies on this list, it's not as good, so that's why it's the worst. But again, it's not actually like a terrible, I didn't give this movie an F, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? It's more like a BC type thing. So again, go check out my video if you really want to, but the next is going to be Frozen 2. Now, again, Frozen 2, I have my review on the channel if you want more of a, like I said, in-depth look. But this one really is not a bad movie by any means, and I actually think that it's better than Frozen 1. However, it's just not as good as the ones on the list. It had some pacing issues, it had some story issues, and the songs were really good. I don't really like musicals, but the songs were good for what they chose to do with them, how it kind of fueled the story, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like I said, it's a good movie, but it's nowhere near what Disney has made in the past 10 decades even, that are even that great. But again, not a bad movie, just not as good as the ones on my list, but it does have some issues. Next, we're going to have Disney's Dumbo, the live-action Dumbo movie. Now, I did get Dumbo on DVD for Christmas. It did not come with a code, that's why I didn't unbox it for you guys, but it's kind of funny. When I say Dumbo's on my worst list and I have it on DVD, again, it's not a bad movie. It's just not as good as some of the other movies that are on this list. And Dumbo, really, it didn't feel like a Dumbo movie. And I know it takes place in a circus, and I know you got the friggin' flying elephant, I know you got all this stuff. It just felt, because Tim Burton directed it, it didn't feel like a Disney movie. It felt more like a Greatest Showman ripoff with some, flying elephants. And again, it's not a bad film, but again, go check out my review on the channel. I don't even know what I said in that. It was a long time ago. I think May or April. But it was still, like I said, okay, but it did have some issues, and that's, again, why it's going to be on this list. The last one, I only have 5. The fourth is DC Shazam. This is probably a hot take, because I know a lot of people, some of my friends love Shazam, and I don't hate Shazam. My biggest issue with Shazam, and my biggest issue with the DCEU, or Worlds of DC, whatever the fudge you want to call it, is that it doesn't feel like a DC movie. It feels like a family comedy with superheroes latched on. And I know that's what Shazam technically is. It's about a dysfunctional family that, kind of grows into a real family where they can kind of, accept each other and move on with life. But, just like Wonder Woman, a lot of people love the first Wonder Woman. And Wonder Woman 84, I don't like it. I don't think it looks good. I'm going to see it, of course, for YouTube, and I'm going to see it because I'm a Wonder Woman fan, but it doesn't look good to me. Bad vibes. That's just me. Wonder Woman 1 is actually my least favorite DC movie of the DCEU. Mainly because it doesn't feel like Wonder Woman again. She's very out of character for what Wonder Woman would be. And I know, like for Last Jedi, everyone's like, oh, Luke was out of character. No, Luke was in character. You were wrong. Wonder Woman, to me, and again, I could be wrong, who knows, maybe you really think she was a great character. Luke was in character 100%. Wonder Woman, that could go both ways. She could be in character for you, or she could not be for me. That is really an opinion story. And I think that she's not the best in Wonder Woman. That's mainly that. But Shazam, again, it feels like a family comedy with some superhero battles in it. It doesn't really feel like a DC movie. There's too many jokes. There's too much family stuff going on. There's not enough punching and action, which I know you have to create a good story out of that. Trust me, out of all people I know that you need a good story to have a good film, not just punch, explosion stuff. But, I don't know, something didn't click for me with Shazam. And go see my review on the channel to see what I actually get to say in my actual review. But, sum it up, not the best DC ever made. And my last one is The Secret Life of... I can't even talk. The Secret Life of Pets Dose, or 2. Now, I will say this, in my opinion, The Secret Life of Pets 1 is one of the worst animated films I've ever seen in my life. It's a ripoff of the Lego Movie, it's a ripoff of Toy Story, it's just a ripoff movie in general. Not funny, very unoriginal, very retarded, and I don't like that word, but it was very, very stupid. And it just didn't work. How to Train Your Dragon. Secret Life of Pets 2, on the other hand, while not a bad movie, while not a great movie because it's not on my list, it was better than the second one. It had decently funny jokes. It wasn't super kiddie and dumb, appealing to, you know, just pet lovers. It really had a good plot for all ages. It had, you know, good voice acting. It had a better plot. It had better stakes. Everything felt a little more upped. And I think maybe Illumination knew, okay, a lot of people didn't like the first one because it was very not original, like the Playmobil movie. But still, like Playmobil movie, it is a good film. It's just not perfect the way I would have wanted it to be for my things. Anyway, those are going to be my top 5 worst movies of 2019. And again, when I say worst, I don't mean they suck. I just mean that they're not as good as the other ones. And again, I have my reasons to go check out those videos on the channel. So, now what we're going to do is go on to my honorable mentions. I have 10 of those, and then we're going to move on to my top 10 favorite or best movies of the year. So, this is in no particular order, by the way, for the honorable mentions. I just slapped them on there. So we have Spider-Man Far From Home. I love Far From Home. It's a very, very good movie. Again, it just didn't make my list of top 10. But great acting, great action, great comedy, great CGI. It was everything. You know, it's one of the best. I think it is my favorite Spider-Man sequel out of Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and now Spider-Man Far From Home. Far From Home is easily my favorite sequel, and coming from a guy, I don't personally like Tobey Maguire. I don't like those movies at all. I don't like them at all. I really enjoyed Andrew Garfield's take, but it was too short, too lived. It just didn't go anywhere. These movies with Tom Holland, they're really, really good. And like I said, I really can't wait to see it. The whole Sony, this year had the whole Sony crap where it was like, is he going there? Is he going there? We're like, nope, coming back with us. You know, come on back over here to the good side with Disney. And now that he's here, I can't wait to see more of him because, again, Far From Home was excellent. Dora and the Lost City of Gold or something like that. I am 21 years old. I'm a dude. I'm a man. I don't watch girly cartoons. If you do, it's fine. I don't. You know, I do think that Dora is a girly show. Of course, it's for, like, toddlers, duh. You know, you look at something like SpongeBob, Regular Show, Ninjago, those are for all ages. Dora really is just for little children because it's teaching them how to do things. Common sense, right? So let's move on to that. I do think that the Miguel or Diego, Diego was like the boy version of Dora, if I remember correctly. And I used to watch Dora as a kid. I mean, who the hell didn't? You know, it was like 2, 3-year-old me, 4-year-old me. I didn't know any better. And then when I was like, hey, women are hot. And then I'm like, oh, that was a girly show. You know what I mean? Time to move on from that. But this movie was great. And I was really surprised by it because I'm like, okay, Dora's a girly show. It's for little children. And the marketing for this movie really seemed like it was for, you know, not mature audiences, but 10 and up, you know, not 2 to 4. You know what I'm saying? And they had some poop jokes in there, you know, whatever. It had to make the kids happy. And there's a way to deal with poop and fart jokes. You can make adults and teens laugh at them. It's not just a kid-only joke. But they did it in such a way where everything worked. And it wasn't just poop and fart jokes. It was really, you know, the action, the CGI, the acting. You know, everyone really had a good job. The plot, you know, everything kind of, it was a very smart movie. And that's why I think a lot of adults and teenagers enjoyed it. Was because, yeah, you look at it and you're like, oh, that's a kiddie movie. And that's because it is a kiddie franchise. And then you look at this movie and you're like, damn, that was really freaking good. You know, they didn't mess it up too much. And I really, really enjoyed Dora, surprisingly. Not just because she's hot. It's because, that seems weird to say too, because she's like 3 fucking years old. But she's like, how old is she? She's like 16, 17 in this movie. I don't know why they made Dora hot. And I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. You know, it is what it is. But still, good movie. Number 3, The Lion King. Disney's Lion King. Now, I'm a type of person, I like the Disney remakes. I don't groan and moan and go, oh, Disney, get original content. I don't do any of that. If you're one of those people, that's fine. But I don't do that. I don't think Disney is getting lazy. I do think that they changed enough things up. And really, it's only a better thing. You know, we have the original Lion King for that generation and ours, but now we have the new Lion King generation for us and the next, you know what I mean? So, really, I don't know why everyone's biatching. It's a good thing. And Lion King, like I said, not as good as some other movies I'm going to be talking about in my top 10 best, but it is a very good movie. I love the CGI. I love the, you know, really, we can't really call it a live-action remake because it's not live-action. It's literally 100% CGI except for, like, one shot and, like, one lion, so it doesn't count, really. Technically, it is an animated film, but still very, very good. Toy Story 4. This was a big one. Now, I'm the type of person, I think they should have ended it with Toy Story 3. I did not want a Toy Story 4. To heck with this. I don't want it. It's gonna get stupid. It's gonna suck. Just like Cars 3. I think Cars 3 was the perfect ending to the Cars trilogy. The Cars movies are my favorite Pixar films ever. Not just because I grew up with them, I just think they're the best. That's another video for another day, maybe. But, like I said, Toy Story 4, I'm like, okay, I don't really want this, you know what I mean? There's too much. It ended perfectly. We get the idiot girl Bonnie. I don't like Bonnie. Not just she's a girl. Men and women are equal, by the way. You know, girls, I don't know, she just didn't like her. She was pissing me off all the time. I did like the Toy Story specials, like the Toy That Time Forgot, that Christmas one, and the Halloween one. Those are good. But I think that Andy moving on, giving it to another kid was a good idea, and that was the perfect way to end it. And then they're like, oh, well, Toy Story 3 made a crap ton of money. Let's just freaking make another one. And to be honest, I really enjoyed Toy Story 4. That's why it's on my honorable mentions. But it's just, something tells me they just should have stopped with 3, you know? And now they're saying there's going to be Toy Story 5. Just too much of a good thing, even if it's a really good thing, can still be a bad thing eventually, you know? Take anything, any franchise that you love, your favorite top 5 franchises, you personally, if they kept cranking it out for 50 years, no matter how good it would get bad eventually. And once it gets bad, it's a bad franchise. You don't want that. You don't want stagnation, you know? You don't want that to stop. So really have this, you know, going on in your head. I think that it, like I said, good movie, didn't need to be made. How to Train Your Dragon 3. I think that DreamWorks makes good movies. I think How to Train Your Dragon, that trilogy is fantastic. I think that Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2 and 3 are okay. And that's it. Puss in Boots was also pretty good. But everything else, Shrek, I don't really like anything DreamWorks make. Me personally, I think they're more for kids. I don't think an adult or teen can get into them much. But my favorite DreamWorks movies, like I said, besides Kung Fu Panda and Puss in Boots, would be How to Train Your Dragon 1, 2, 3, and Rise of the Guardians. Rise of the Guardians is one of my favorite films of all freaking time. And I wanted to watch it on Christmas Eve, but I didn't have time, and we had to watch some Christmas shorts, which was still fun. But it's a tradition. I watch Rise of the Guardians with my mom and dad every single freaking Christmas Eve. We didn't do it this year, and I'm pissed about it. But we're going to do it next year for sure. And I think a few of my friends haven't seen it, so it's all good. But with How to Train Your Dragon 3, I think it was a good end to Hiccup and, you know, Toothless' story. I think that they kind of did enough things where it was... I did have some issues with it. You know, again, go see my review, especially with Toothless and his girlfriend, wife, dragon, the white dragon. I think those scenes last way too long, and it really gets boring. But aside from pacing, I think this was a great conclusion to the How to Train Your Dragon universe. Again, please don't make a 4th, because it ended freaking perfectly as a 3rd. Maleficent 2, or Maleficent Mistress of Evil. Alright, so this is the big one. I love Maleficent 1. I think it's a really good movie. Maleficent 2, however, is better than 1, in my opinion. I think the stakes are higher, the CGI is better, the acting is better, the storyline gets more intense, and a lot more twists and turns. The fact that, you know, she has a whole other race of, like, these other different type of winged creatures. So you have, like, you know, the rainbow ones for the girls or whatever, and then you have, like, the black ones for the scary guys, and then you got, like, the gray ones who are, like, the more timid, and then you get the brown ones that are willing to fight. So it's kind of cool. Each winged tribe gets a different type of affiliation to it. And I really enjoyed that. Again, great movie. I really enjoyed it. Hellboy, oh boy. Everyone hated Hellboy. It got like, what, 18% of Rotten Tomatoes? I don't give a crap about Rotten Tomatoes. What I say goes, essentially, for me, at least not for you, but for me. I loved Hellboy. Again, it's just not making my top 10, but it really was a good movie. I have it on Blu-ray. I unboxed it. Go check out my review, but I really don't have that many issues with it. I probably gave it like an A- or something. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Maybe I'm just weird. Let's see here. What was the other one? Oh, Captain Marvel, right. This is the one where Disney thought, you know, everyone thought Marvel went feminist on us. And really, I think Captain Marvel's a good movie. A lot of people misunderstood it as, you know, oh, her is in every single fucking, you know, thing. And it's like, oh, a hero, and hero is her. So I get it. You know, they're kind of over the top. There's a woman, you know what I mean, beating you in the head with it. But at the same time, Black Widow's doing it. Wonder Woman's doing it. And they are all great movies. Black Widow looks amazing. I don't think Wonder Woman 84 looks good. But Wonder Woman itself was an okay film. She's not my favorite. I already talked about that. But Captain Marvel, I think, is better than Wonder Woman and leagues better than Catwoman. That movie is just dumpster fire. I got that from the exchange for like $1, Catwoman, and Jesus Christ, I wanted to blow my brains out. It was just the worst movie in the world. I'm kidding, of course, metaphorically speaking. But God, it was such a freaking trash movie. And Captain Marvel is what, I think right now, setting the bar of what a superhero or comic book movie can do with a female lead. A lot of people are like, oh, it's a girl, they can't do it, they're not funny. And like I said, I think men and women are equal, of course, you know, some women are better than things and men are better, you know, generally speaking, as far as franchises, men and women can carry their own franchise, there's no trouble about that. But, like I said, I think Captain Marvel is a great MCU movie, and it really does, like I said, I really don't have any issues with it. My only issue with Captain Marvel was the CGI, and that's really with all the other MCU movies, but other than that, it's not Not too bad. I enjoyed it. And then we got Dark Phoenix, X-Men Dark Phoenix. This is the end game of, or the rise of Skywalker of the X-Men Fox universe. And a lot of people say it went out with a whimper, and it kind of did. And that's really why I didn't make my top 10 list. It was a great film. I really, really enjoyed Dark Phoenix. I do not have it on Blu-ray yet. I need to get it soon. But it's a great movie. I think that they did the Phoenix Saga better than X-Men 3. And I don't hate X-Men 3. I think The Last Stand is a good movie. I really don't see the hate. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's just, you know, B-C range for me, really, if I were to review it. But honestly, Dark Phoenix was a good movie. It was a good redo, and I don't really have any issues with it. The Missing Link, which was Laika, another stop-motion people. A great movie. This is my favorite movie that Laika made. I really love Kubo and the Two Strings, and I didn't see... Box Trolls, again, my opinion, like Secret Life of Pets 1 is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I hate that movie. However, Missing Link is my favorite one. I think it's really funny, got a great action, got a lot of story in there, got a lot of heart and comedy and everything. It's for all ages, and I really do enjoy it. So, that's going to be my top 10 honorable mentions, and then, of course, I already talked about my top 5 worst. So, let's end this video with the top 10 best movies of 2019, in my opinion. We're going to go from 10 to 1. So, at number 10, we have Aladdin. I freaking love Aladdin, man. I didn't see the original Aladdin. I know, I'm sorry. I know, don't shoot me. It's bad. I have Disney Plus, so I'm going to be watching it. I got a lot of movies for Christmas, so once I burn through those on DVD, I'm going to be watching a lot on Disney Plus. And Aladdin's the number one, because, man, Aladdin 2019 was so effing good. I really, really enjoyed it. I love Will Smith as the genie. Really a few issues, again, go check out my review. I think maybe just some of the CGI or something like that. I really don't have a big problem with it. Again, to be number 10 in the best list, that's really good for me, and I really do enjoy Aladdin. It's great, really funny, great scenery, great CGI, great acting, great plot, a little bit different than the original from what I can tell. Great musical numbers. Again, I don't like musicals, but come on, Disney songs are always good. And yeah, I love Aladdin. It's just one of the best Disney remakes. It actually, you know what? It is my favorite live-action Disney remake. I really love it. And I love Jungle Book. I like Dumbo. You know, again, Dumbo's my third worst, but not a bad movie. Let's go to the next one, Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Now, this is just a great movie, because everyone hates video game movies, right? Oh, Assassin's Creed sucks. Tomb Raider sucks. Super Mario Bros. Sucks. Sonic's gonna suck. What the hell is that design? Now, okay, I really loved Assassin's Creed with Michael Fassbender and Talia from Dark Knight Rises. I think it's a great movie. I don't know the hate. I'm sorry. I love that movie. I also, I didn't see Tomb Raider, but Sonic the Hedgehog looks great. I'm really looking forward to Sonic. Of course, I didn't like his original design like everyone else. It wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't good. Now that it looks better, I think that everything's going to be fine. But Detective Pikachu, man, dang, man, this movie set the freaking bar for what a video game movie could be. It was funny. It's action-packed. The CGI is some of the best CGI I've seen in a movie of all time. It looks that good. The acting is great. Like I said, the plot is fantastic. Lots of twists and turns. Lots of, you know, references to Pokemon without being a direct callback, like The Force Awakens was, if you see my review on that. But yeah, like I said, Detective Pikachu is one of the best movies I've seen of the year. Again, it's number 9. I have it on Blu-ray. I cannot wait to watch it. And yeah, really good movie, and I hope they make more. Number 8, we have Alita Battle Angel. I have not read the manga, or manga, however you pronounce that. I think it's manga. I don't read that stuff. I'm not into that stuff. If you are, that's fine. I'm just personally not. So I was like, okay, you got a hot girl who's all CGI and a half robot, and she's a badass, and there's an evil guy, and it looks awesome. And it was all 5 of those things. It was amazing. It was an amazing movie. I have it on Blu-ray. I watched it with my buddies. It was just really good. And no spoilers, but the way it ends, Jesus, man, I want a friggin' sequel. Honestly, it was that good. It really set the bar again for how you can make CGI look on a girl, you know, a woman, but also kind of the whole city in general. Nothing was out of place. I think I gave Alita Battle Angel an A+, honestly. I really enjoyed it. There wasn't anything really to complain about, and again, it's on my best list. So, highly, highly love that movie, and I really hope they make a sequel. Next, we have my second horror movie I've ever seen, number 7, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Now, my first horror movie I've ever seen was Brightburn. That didn't make anything on the list. I really do enjoy Brightburn. I guess, well, okay, here. I forgot. We'll put Brightburn on number 11, so I have 11 honorable mentions. I just changed it. Who cares? It's my channel. I do what the hell I want. It's Brightburn is number 11. 1-1 dose, I guess. That's going to be number 11. I really love Brightburn. My first horror movie I've ever seen. I know some people say it's not a horror movie. It technically is a horror movie. And I loved it. But Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, man, wow. Wow, man, what a freaking movie. If I grew up in this age where at my, you know, my school when I grew up and all that, me and my friends would always go to the library and rent these Scary Stories books. And let me friggin' tell you, they were awesome. And the Hageman brothers, who wrote for the Ninjago TV show, they did the script, so that was another big pull. But honestly, man, this movie is just amazing. The stories were amazing. It was scary. It looked great. It was just fantastic. And it really pushed the bar of not only horror, but also what PG-13 horror could do. Because I know a lot of people think PG-13 is for kids, and it really isn't. In my opinion, I don't think a teenager is a kid. That's just me. And it really isn't in terms of franchises. If you want to say real life, whatever. But, I think that PG-13 is not for little kids, and this really proved it. It wasn't over-the-top gory. It had, like, 2 F words in it, but you can do that now. Again, it didn't break the boundary of PG-13, but for being a horror movie, and most PG-13 horror movies kind of suck, from what I could tell, this one was amazing, and I cannot wait to get it on Blu-ray, man. It's such a good film. Let's see here. The next, we have number 6, The Lego Movie 2, the second part. Now, if you know this whole debacle with the Lego Movie franchise, all 4 of them, apparently Warner Brothers is in talk. Now, this is not confirmed. A lot of people think this is confirmed. It is not. The Lego Movie franchise, not Lego, but the Lego Movie franchise, is essentially in WB hands right now, Warner Brothers, but they're in talks. It's not finalized, but they're in talks to have it go to Universal, the people that did Despicable Me, Secret Life of Pets, Minions, all that. And I'm nervous about that because I don't really like much of what Illumination does. I think they're more kiddie, and I don't really enjoy it. However, I think, and if you'll know me from my channel, the Lego movies, all 4 of them, are easily my favorite animated property of all time. It's better than anything Disney's ever made. It's just funny. The animation is funny. The writing is amazing in all 4 movies. The comedy is great. Like I said, the acting is amazing. Lego Movie, Batman, Ninjago, and Lego Movie 2 are just freaking fantastic. And the Lego Movie 2, the second part, yeah, it really underperformed in the box office, but dang, I freaking love this movie. It's one of the best animated films I've ever seen, one of the best sequels I've ever seen, and it really just builds upon everything. No pun intended. It builds upon everything in a really great way. And like I said, it just didn't make enough money, and really I think that's just our fault for not wanting to see it. I don't know what the issue was, but because of Ninjago and this movie underperforming at the box office, again, critic scores don't matter for sequels. They don't really matter for anything. I don't even know why people care about Rotten Tomatoes. But at the same time, this movie did do so poorly at the box office. I think the Lego Movie franchise kind of got, built under a rock and just kind of craggled together. They took a Craggle and they, squeezed the glue all over it. And it really is stagnant and kind of a problematic franchise to do that. Because, you want more, and I really want more. I freaking love the Lego movies. And if Universal gets it, it could spell out doom for the Lego movies. I don't know. I have high hopes. We'll have to see what happens. But again, Lego Movie 2 is one of the best films of the year. Number 5, we have Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame. Now, I think that Endgame is one of the best MCU movies of all time, easily. I know it gets memed the crap out of, and a lot of people say it's really underrated or it's really overrated, but I honestly, it's a great movie. I mean, it's got great effects. I have no issues with the CGI of this movie. The acting's amazing. The stakes are high as fudge. Thanos is still intimidating as heck. Tony Stark, Captain America, everyone happens, and of course, I'm going to be spoiling it right now because I'm imagining you saw it. Tony Stark dies, and Captain America dies in Far From Home, and all this stuff. It's tragic. I didn't cry. I almost cried. But let me just freaking tell you, man, Endgame is a great film. It really didn't... See, here's the thing. It felt like a good end to the MCU, but it isn't because they're continuing the MCU. So that's why it wasn't super duper, oh my god, it's the end, you know what I mean? Because it's not. It's just the end of, like, Phase 3 or whatever the heck. They're going to keep going, so it's not like it's the end of anything. So because of that, I was a little bit taken out of it. But at the same time, A+, I believe I gave it an A+. You can go check my review. I really enjoyed it. Fantastic movie, and it really was something to behold. Number 4, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Of course, the Mr. Rogers movie starring Tom Hanks. Surprisingly, I put a drama over a action movie, which is Marvel, which is very, very freaking surprising. But as a critic now, actually looking at movies for critiquing them, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood was amazing. Just like Dora, I was like, am I going to like this? I don't watch Mr. Rogers. It's for little kids. But, when you watch this movie, it makes you feel things, kind of like certain movies. A good movie should make you feel something, whether that be happy, sad, angry, laughing, whatever. This movie made me feel like there was hope through good people. And I'm not saying I am a good person, but I am imagining all these people, you guys are good people. Good people rise up and they do good things, and Mr. Rogers was a good person. And, I can think of many good people that lived in our time that were great. But seeing what he did for Lloyd Vogel, not Lloyd, but Lloyd, really just the movie itself is just referential. It's sad. It's funny. It's everything, man. It's just such a great movie. It hit me, and I can't wait to get it on Blu-ray. And again, to put that over Avengers Endgame, that's saying something because man, it was a good freaking movie. Number 3. Knives Out by Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson, a whodunit crime thriller comedy, action, whatever the heck you want to call it. This surprised the poop out of me because I haven't seen Brick and I haven't seen Looper, but The Last Jedi, as you know, is my favorite Star Wars film, and I will defend it until I die. However, Knives Out, also by Rian Johnson, is one of the best movies of the year. It's my third favorite film of the year. It's funny. It's got great. I'm not going to spoil it, but the directions they go in this movie are just fantastic, and everything about this movie works. Everything, man. It starts in one direction. This is nope, just like Last Jedi. Nope, we're going this way. No, nope, we're going that way. And it all works on every different level, and I really do enjoy it. And again, third best, freaking awesome. Number 2, here we go, the nitty gritty. Star Wars Episode 9: The Rise of Skywalker. Now, before we get into this, go check out my review. Star Wars Month is still happening, but let me just say, I'm a real fan. I'm not a hater. I don't hate on everything. If you're a real fan, you can have opinions and story. I do think that The Rise of Skywalker was the definitive end to the Skywalker saga. And the reason why Endgame wasn't for me is because Endgame was the end of Marvel. No, Marvel's still going. The Skywalker saga is over. And whenever Disney does another Star Wars trilogy, it's a reboot. It's not going to be Episode 10 with Rey and Kylo, or anyone like that, I do think that, like I said, The Rise of Skywalker, I love The Force Awakens, I love Rogue One Solo, I really love The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker is another freaking great movie. Again, a lot of these haters go, oh, it course corrects that, and it retcons that, and they do that, and it doesn't. For a real fan, it's common sense. The Rise of Skywalker lifts up The Last Jedi, and it lifts up The Force Awakens. Because now when you rewatch those two, knowing these things, these spoilers, all of these revelations seem to go, oh, that's why he said that, and he lied there, but he also told the truth in that scene, and that person really wasn't nobody because of that, and that person was somebody because of that, and it connects because of this, and all these things, man. I actually saw it today, too, on the, what's today, the 29th? I'm filming this on the 29th, I don't know when this is posting, but with regards to that, again, the Rise of Skywalker is my second best film of the year. It's action-packed, it's funny, it's got great emotional moments. I didn't cry, I almost cried. And again, I saw it today for the second time and I almost cried, so it freaking gets to me, man. Not just because I have nostalgia for Star Wars, but just, it's a good movie. And I really, really enjoy it. Again, to me, it is the way to end the Skywalker saga, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Number 1, best movie of 2019 is, drumroll please, DC, Joker. Now, I love Joaquin Phoenix in this movie, common sense. He's a great actor, and he kills it as Joker. Zazie Beetz kills it as Sophie. Robert De Niro kills it as Murray. And everyone else in this movie is just effing amazing. The acting is amazing. Best acting I've seen of the year. Special effects really aren't that many. Of course, blood and gore. It's rated R, so you're going to have blood and gore, really. But, that's all CGI, of course. But really, there's no, exploding buildings or beams in the sky or, lightsaber fights. It's very much a DC film that doesn't feel like a DC film. You could look at Joker and go, I hate DC. Be like, oh, well, you're going to like Joker either way, Great movie. I felt something. I felt sad. I felt destroyed and kind of broken down at the end of this movie. And I really don't feel that in life. So, I'm normally an upbeat, happy person. So to see Joker, I literally effing walked out of this theater. I saw it with my buddy, and I'm like, Jesus, man, this movie freaking got me. I mean, it's sad as heck. And a lot of these things that they do in this movie, is it real? Is it not real? And of course, Joker is getting a sequel. I don't like that. I think they should just stick with their own thing. And of course, it made over $1 billion. Joker is actually right now still the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. Good for them. I know a lot of people hate Joker. I don't really know why. It doesn't really feel like a DC film, to be honest. There's no, Batman's in it, but there's no punching and speeding up and explosions. It's a very slow burn of a film, but it needs to be that, and that's why it's my favorite movie of the year. Everything about it works. Alright guys, so sorry about that, of course. Filming for a while, camera dies. You guys know what's up by now. Anyway, I hate when that freaking happens, but it still happens. So anyway, again, number 1 movie was Joker. I love everything about it. Again, I go check out my review on the channel. Again, sorry about the breakup, but it is what it is. Yeah, man, so those are my top, top 5 worst, top 10 honorable mentions, and then top 10 best movies of the year. So, please tell me your top 10 favorite movies of 2019. Just your top 10 best. Let's keep the comments pretty positive here. Again, if you disagree with me, that's fine. Don't hate me. I won't hate you back. Again, so it's going to go top 10 best really fast. Aladdin, Detective Pikachu, Alita Battle Angel, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, The Lego Movie 2, Endgame, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Knives Out, The Rise of Skywalker, and Joker. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. And I cannot freaking wait for 2020.